Hi Scorpio, welcome to your weekly scopes. Please keep in mind this is only a general reading. Take what it feels right and with what resonates with your own life experiences. So Scorpio, a very emotional week, which usually it's your natural domain, but the emotions surfacing this week are about healing your emotional body that may have been lately not feeling as great as it should, because there are situations from the past that you're still holding on, and those situations are creating a sense of sorrow and mental. At the same time, it's a sorrow, a suffering process where almost has no longer anything to do with the pain you felt about the situation, but the own mental prison you put yourself in when you choose to suffer about something that happened in the past over and over and over again. And those obsessive type of um, thoughts, those obsessive types of attitudes are really unhealthy for our emotional body because it keeps toxic emotions inside of us, where instead of letting ourselves uh, instead of letting those waters purify themselves by forgiving, by letting it go, by pouring love into it, we hold on to it and the negative traits of it, and we create situations of never ending cycles of suffering and blockages. But it's about our own doings. It's about our own ability to unblock ourselves, to to understand the difference between pain and suffering. Again, as I keep saying, pain is inevitable. Everybody will go through it many times in their lives because it's a part of our learning process. But suffering, it's optional. Suffering, it's optional, and I feel you have been suffering, you have been worried, you have been ruminating by some situation, an emotional situation from the past that you're holding on in a very obsessive, possessive way. And the problem with that, it's again, it's creating a situation inside of you of deep emotional blockage and inability to leave um, to live your emotions fully as you should. But the opportunity this week, even though that thing may surface up again, if it has been dormant lately, it may surface up again. Some kind of trigger where you'll not only remind yourself of that obsessive pattern of suffering, of sorrow, of sadness, and in the same way, the deep undercurrents, the deep feelings you have inside of you, asking for purification, asking for letting it go, asking for healing. So there's a beautiful opportunity for you this week to understand those both processes, the mental and the emotional one. And the main opportunity for you this week is the sorrow card, which it's that understanding, that deep understanding of your own mental conditionings, creating that never ending cycle of pain, of sorrow, of grief, and of unnecessary anxiety and worry because it's not real. It's the way you let your mind control you and feed you with this negative energy because you still have situations from the past you are holding on. And but this card also talks about you seeing the root cause of that suffering, you understanding where that pain is coming from is pivotal this week, because that will allow the healing to happen. And even though it's not a comfortable process at all for anybody, it allows a great deal of freedom and a much more healthy, conscious way of living. And it's hard. It's hard to do this compassionate, forgiving work towards ourselves, towards others, towards things we cannot change. And it's also about accepting that you cannot change anything that happened in the past. You have only the two options: keep in that wheel of a sorrow, of pain, where you will where you'll create this blockage where love will not flow as you want to, as you desire to. You will not be able to receive love. You will not be able to give love in its healthiest way. And deep down, you know you want that. You need that deep commitment. You need that deep bond. But it has to be done in a healthy way. So that bond happens with you or with anybody else in a long-lasting way, like you want to. So if you allow yourself to listen to yourself and to go really deep in the understanding of your pain, of your sorrow, of those attachments of the past, you will undergo this really beautiful healing of your emotional body, of your spiritual body. So the challenge is to be receptive to that. The challenge is the receptivity card, which is a water card. And as you can see in the picture, she has the arms open to the divine. What this means is she has all this, not this receptive attitude of being open to the understanding of higher meaning for its emotions, for its learnings, for its processes, for everything, everything that she undergoes through. She takes it as an opportunity to grow, to be even more mature, even more nurturing, even more intuitive, even more receptive to what life has to offer her, but also what she has to offer to the world, which is this deep understanding of its emotions, this deep ability to take care of herself and others in a very gentle, loving way. It's about you listening, you being able to listen to what your emotions are telling you. When you open also your mind and the blockages you have happening there. So be receptive to the understanding of your emotions. Be receptive to the understanding of things you're still holding on to if you're not consciously aware of those. If you think that you have moved on, that you have nothing holding you back, you may want to listen deeply, more profoundly, um, your your emotions to get to this understanding that sometimes we carry wounds from childhood that we don't even remember, but every time something happens that it's triggered, many times it keeps itself unconscious. But many of our reactions, many of our insecurities, many of our fears have a root there. So you have a big opportunity to get down there, to the undercurrents, to the profoundness, which is also one of your strongest traits and abilities, to go to the deepest uh, meaning of everything. So don't be afraid to use your own power this week to transform yourself, to heal yourself, and to finally free yourself from situations of the past that are not allowing you to see the beauty in the present moment and sharing and receiving love. The advice card is exactly another water card, and it's healing. When you do that, when you understand the deep root of your suffering, you will allow healing to happen. So any type of emotion, you are in a purging process, Any kind of emotion that surfaces this week, let it. Don't tame it. Don't control it. Don't keep yourself in the background, feeding toxic, obsessive, compulsive thoughts. Rather, let it out. Cry, scream, share, express, write, anything where you put out your emotion this week. Even if it means having to really go on an uncomfortable way where you share your vulnerable traits with others. Let it happen because you are very sensitive this week and that is prone to happen. But also know that when that happens, it means that you are getting there. You are getting to that deepness inside of you where you're finding the source of the wound. And that is also finding the source of all healing. So this week, believe in the power of emotions over the power of your mind because it's controlling you. Believe in the power of letting it go and of forgiving. Show love towards yourself, show compassion towards yourself, and you'll see the results. Of course, this is not a process that it happens overnight. It takes a while. It may start this week and follow you for 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, it doesn't matter. It takes its time. But when you start doing it and when you commit to it, knowing that you can be much more better towards yourself, towards the life you want to have, and start creating it instead of resisting it, you will see how that process will go much more smoother and much more, and where you'll have this allowance coming to you, spiritual this spiritual sense of so much ability to take care of yourself and others. So the challenge is to be receptive to the emotions you're feeling, be receptive to what's happening emotional wise in your life at this moment. So thank you for listening, liking, subscribing. I hope you have a great week and hopefully we'll see each other next one.